It's the Andy Griffith Show, Facts and Trivia, with your host, Bob Snap.
Hi guys, and welcome to the Andy Griffith Show, Facts and Trivia. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video is on how Andy Griffith had cut love scenes from the show involving Andy and Helen. When Anita Corso is first introduced as Helen Crump on the Andy Griffith Show, it's the third season episode, Andy Discovers America. Story goes that the character was called Helen Crump specifically because she was planned to be a one-off character who wouldn't stick around long enough to wonder why such a pretty girl had such an ugly name. But she and Griffith had such great chemistry that the writers kept her around. And every classic TV fan knows that over time, she becomes the woman who teaches the widower sheriff to love again. Eventually, they wed. The sparks in Mayberry, however, were not exactly electric from the moment that Helen Crump was introduced. Instead, Griffith himself stepped in to make sure that there were no fast moves when it came to Andy romancing Opie's schoolteacher. He wanted their courting to come along nice and slow. In '64, a year after Helen Crump first came to Mayberry, Griffith told the Associated Press that he and Corso were rehearsing a scene that made him feel outright uncomfortable about the romantic shift in the show. The scene called for Andy and Helen to hover outside his office, with Andy feeling so smitten he starts leaning in for a kiss, only to lose his nerve at the last minute and duck inside the door where Barney was waiting. Griffith didn't like this public image of the sheriff one bit. "That's a little too much," frowned Griffith. "Wouldn't it be better if we sort of made love with our eyes a little bit?" The show star was protesting the PDA more than the timing of the kiss. "I just don't think we make physical love in public," he said. Lucky for Griffith, his name was on the show, and the director of the episode, Al Rapkin, agreed the scene wasn't quite right. They wrote the near kiss out of the episode. "Now, wouldn't it be funnier if Don broke it up by walking between us?" he suggested. "Let's try that." Once Knotts came into the scene, Griffith was much happier with the episode. "Boy, that works better," Griffith remembered saying. "That felt wonderful. It's in character because that's the sort of thing he would do, rush through like to attract attention." This is one example of how Griffith was cautious about letting romantic storylines dominate the Andy Griffith Show once Helen was introduced. But throughout their romance, the TV star insisted the couple remain conservative, even after things started heating up between them, and they did occasionally kiss in private. "Andy has no idea Helen has sex appeal," Anita Corso joked to the Shreveport Journal in 1967. She said over the episode, slowly the characters were allowed to touch more often in scenes, but Andy, just like his character, still shies away from it. "So we don't kiss a lot," she pointed out. Corso was fine with the pace of the romance, though. She was happy to become a part of the Mayberry family. As she was watched the show more over time, she said she's appreciated how the romance between Andy and Helen burned slow. She said often she'd be watching her own scenes and realize that she hadn't remembered anything that happened in the episode she appeared in. "It's like watching someone else who looked like me," she told Jackson's Son in 1990. Although he missed out on what could have been even more romance between Andy and Helen, as Griffith cautiously edited out some of their early love scenes, one might argue that the love they shared is perhaps more poignant because of Griffith buffing out some little touches. That's how Corso sees it. Like most character actors on the show, she formed a special bond, not just with Andy, but also with the Andy Griffith Show fans, whose everlasting love of Helen Crump has touched her heart for decades. "It's so good to meet the fans of the show," she said. "They're really some of the kindest, most genuine people you'll ever meet." She's got that right. I think it's funny that he would cut out the love scenes, and what they had going behind the scenes is just the exact opposite. But I mean, he was right. This is the Andy Griffith Show. You don't want to overplay all that because you're going to lose your moral edge, you know. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please don't forget about classic TV facts and trivia. Earl Hamner from the Waltons. Did you know he wrote 8 episodes of The Twilight Zone? And classic rock and country music facts and trivia is on Conway Twitty, and how he re-recorded Hello Darling in Russian so that the American astronauts could gift it to the Russian astronauts in space. Anyway, if you have not yet, please subscribe. Thank you. Please like this video. Thank you again. All I got for you. Have a great day. God bless. And as always, I'm praying for you guys.